Okay, so I guess we can get started. I see there's around 14 attendees. I wanted to get started off by while we were like trying to get everyone here, waiting for everyone, the rest of the attendees to fill in, whoever wants to come, maybe a little bit late, that's fine. If all the attendees can kind of type their name and their grade level in the chat, that'd be great. We'd be kind of monitoring that and just gauging everyone's age to the best of our ability. Okay, I love seeing these answers. It seems like a lot of you are around, I see ages from like around second grade to seventh grade. I think that's like a really good age to kind of get introduced to Scratch, like this programming style, and really kind of get an introduction to the world of programming and engineering in general. So I guess we can get started that way. I feel like we have 16 participants, and I think everyone kind of gave their name and age in the chat, so thank you for that. We can get started with a brief presentation. Give me 1 second to kind of get the settings configured. So Caitlin, you won't be able to unmute yourself because this is a webinar format. So the only way that you'll be able to kind of communicate with us, and if you have any questions, will be through the chat, which will be in the like panelist and attendees chat, and we'll be able to see that and kind of moderate your questions that way. Sorry, everyone, give me like 1 minute or so. Okay. Okay, so hi everyone. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. Today, I'm just going to be giving a brief presentation on Scratch and our activity for the beginning of Engineering Carnival and eWeek. So, as you know, you guys are all here, but today's activity will be choosing your own adventure. It'll be an interactive Scratch programming demo, which the audience will kind of input their info, and we'll be creating a story that way. Let me move on. So who we are. So we are the Society of Women Engineers, and from our national website, our organization is centered around a passion for our members' success and it continues to evolve with the challenges and opportunities reflected in today's exciting engineering and technology specialties. So as you can see, we're very involved in the engineering world, kind of exploring opportunities that way and kind of really giving everyone a chance to really explore their interests that way. So as you can tell, SWE stands for Society of Women Engineers. So a lot of what the work is focused on is empowering women to kind of achieve the full potential in the careers of like engineering and really being a like leader in that engineering field, expanding the image of engineering and technology as kind of like a positive force, being really setting a role model for the whole woman in STEM idea, really showing a like image of empowerment and really pushing forward that image of diversity and inclusion in the engineering and STEM world. So obviously we are the Case Western Reserve University chapter of SWE, as I said, SWE is Society of Women Engineers. So at Case, we are committed to implementing the ideas and goals of the Society of Women Engineers national statement into our section itself, really kind of pushing forward that goal of diversity and inclusion of women in the engineering field. So we work with a lot of women in engineering at CASE, as you can see by our various panelist members here, to kind of develop a well-rounded individuals through technical and leadership growth. So we do this by hosting a variety of activities geared towards providing a lot of leadership and mentorship activities, allowing a lot of the volunteers and members of our club to really get involved in the world of engineering and giving a positive impact, introducing a lot of younger members in today's society to the field of engineering and how exciting it can really be, and kind of inspiring the next generation and really people around us to take up that world and give a mission statement saying that like women can really be in the field, can really be a leader and produce change in the engineering world. So we have like a brief presentation of all the presenters and the panelists here today. We'll just be giving a brief introduction of ourselves, just a general idea of like engineering in general and things like that. So let's go on. So hi, my name is Shreya Ramani. I'm one of the hosts today in this event. My major is biomedical engineering, and I am a second-year student here at Case Western Reserve University. I'm currently the director of outreach here at the SWE chapter of CASE, which focuses a lot on kind of creating events to really reach out to the greater community. So a brief introduction of why I really chose engineering is, to me, I believe that engineering is a puzzle, more or less. You combine a lot of pieces to create like a whole product. And that's really interesting to me because I believe that I can really use my brain. I think like thinking critically is super duper important to me. And engineering really puts all of those goals together to kind of create a finalized project, which I can really like invest my time in and be really proud of. So next we have Maddie.
Hi everyone, my name's Maddie. So I'm a mechanical engineering student at CASE, and I'm actually getting my master's. So, you go to elementary school, and then you go to middle school, and then high school, and then I went to college and got my undergraduate degree. And then I decided to stay for another year and get a master's in engineering, and I've really enjoyed it. And so why I like engineering. There were kind of a lot of my personal interests that really aligned with mechanical engineering. So I really liked building things. So whether, that's like creating a set with like Legos or 3D printing something, I think doing those kind of activities is really cool. And mechanical engineering kind of the subject of it really coincides with it. So I've really enjoyed pursuing the type of engineering that goes along with my interests.
Okay, next we have Grace.
Hi everyone, my name is Grace. I'm a mechanical and aerospace engineering student at CASE. I'm in my 4th year here, and I'm also like Maddie, where next year I'll be staying to get my master's degree, which I'm very excited for. So why I chose engineering is because I love the collaboration. I like working with other people to solve a problem. So when I'm presented with a problem, I might have a few ideas, but I really like getting together with other people who have different views or takes on the idea, and we could put all of our ideas together to create something brand new. And I really love that about engineering.
Okay. Next we have Rachel.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I am a polymer engineering student. So probably a lot of you haven't heard of what a polymer is, but if you think of anything that is plastic, like a water bottle or even like your phone screens and your TV screens, those all use polymers. So that's what I'm interested in, but mainly with a focus in biomaterials. So stuff that you can put into your body, which is really cool. I'm a third year here, and I chose engineering because of all of the different things that you can do with engineering. So when you think of engineering, I think a lot of people just think math and science. But once you actually get out into the field, you can include a lot of things with your engineering degree, such as business or marketing. And so by having this technical degree, you can actually expand your horizons into many different fields.
Okay, and Wonya, if you want to introduce yourself really quickly.
Hi everyone, I'm Won Young. I'm a third year electrical engineering student with a computer software concentration, and I chose engineering because of the collaborative nature. I really like problem solving in a team setting, and like Rachel said, I'm into computers and software design, but recently I got into like graphic design. So with a technical background, you can get into the creative side of things and really do anything the world can offer. So engineering is definitely a good platform to start off on and then find your passion, your career path. So highly recommend.
Thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. So now we're kind of going to get into the activity and kind of an introduction of Scratch in general. So I'm sure like some of you may have experience with Scratch, some of you may not have any experience in Scratch. You just thought, oh, like it may have been interesting title like Scratch programming, things like that. But I'll just give like a brief introduction to what it really is. So Scratch was created by computer scientists at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, if many of you guys know. So it's a very visual form of programming, which is geared to a younger audience to really introduce everyone like you guys into a world of coding due to its like nature of like colors and really easy like building blocks that you can put together to create a final project, which I really enjoy about engineering. Like once again, it's more like a puzzle and like a building block style. So again, it like allows for like it's a very puzzle-like structure, which one can use to create very like brief or short games, cartoons, any story like material to just showcase their like just building style or this it's very like creative and very personalized to what you guys really want it to be, so anyone can really tinker with it to kind of create like a final product really. So I'm going to introduce the activity today. So today we will be using that Scratch programming to create a visual story based on your guys' input. So I have a pre-planned story script that I will follow and kind of like help guide the process along. But at certain points, there will be chances where the audience, and this is really based on your guys' input on how you will kind of decide how the story goes based on whatever really Scratch has in its like database, which may be like any characters, any actions, any objects which you guys would really like to see. You guys can kind of like type in the chat and really like tell me how the story, like you guys want the story to go. So like you guys, like basically I will like stop at a certain point of the story, which I will like rely on you guys for the input, and the panelists that we have all introduced, like sorry, which I have all introduced us to, will kind of be moderating in the chat, and we'll be choosing like based on like which like object or character has the most votes or something like that. And I can like input that into the story and we can follow the story from there. So at the end, we can kind of watch and see how the story unfolds based on your guys' input. So it's really dependent on you guys, and it's like a choose your own adventure kind of thing based on the title scene. Okay, so sorry, there was one last slide. Does anybody have any questions about the activity today? You guys can just type into the chat and we can go kind of go from there. I'll give it another minute or so just to make sure if anyone kind of wants to ask any questions. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I see Adish made a comment by what do you mean by story? So a story is just like a story. It'll just kind of follow like a basic plot line with a lot of characters to kind of create like an ending. Since Scratch is very like it takes a while to kind of get used to, we will be tinkering around with the storyline and kind of the mechanics of Scratch a little bit. So we may not create like a full-fledged grand story, which some of you guys may be thinking, but and kind of get started. I just really want to introduce you guys to how Scratch really works. Are we supposed to watch or are we doing it along with you guys? So unfortunately, due to this webinar format, we were not allowed to kind of make it interactive. That was the original plan. So we will be taking input. So instead, we will be taking input from you guys in the chat when I kind of like, if there's like a certain point where like you decide how the story goes, you can like kind of watch along and just really see how Scratch is like works and things like that. Any other questions? And then we can get started shortly. Okay, so it seems like we don't have any other questions for now. So I'm going to, I currently have my screen shared. I can kind of go from there. Oh, yes. Oh, one last question from Dia. So yeah, again, we're not going to be working at Scratch today just due to the format of this webinar and how Engineering Carnival, like this event is held. So I'll be working on the Scratch component while you guys will like kind of like be interacting with me through the chat. Or yeah. Sorry, Caitlin, I see your answer, but are we going to learn how to process typed questions? I don't, or typed answers, sorry. I don't think so. I think we're just kind of going to give a brief introduction as like to story making, just one aspect of Scratch really. Yeah. Okay, so I think we don't have any more questions. We can kind of get started that way. Okay, so here I have a untitled storyboard. So I'll show you guys how to basically go like create it. So I don't know if you guys know, but the Scratch programming website was linked in the Engineering Carnival like description. So if you guys kind of go onto the website like later when you have time, once this event is over, you just go to scratch.mit.edu and it'll take you to the main website where you can kind of tinker with that and create your own projects. So the way I kind of got to here was to kind of go to the Scratch website and then click, like I have an own established account and I believe you don't really need one to kind of start tinkering with everything, but you can click create and then it'll take you to a project, which will have like a blank template, which you can like really work around and things like that. But so let's get started that way. So I have a currently blank template, which I can start tinkering around with. One second, sorry. So as we can see here, we have a like I think this is like the basic sprite character that Scratches gives us. It's like their logo. So we start off with that. So I think I just wanted to kind of introduce you guys to the basic plot line, the storyline of how Scratch will be going today. So I think the project that I had planned out for everyone today was going to be kind of a magician wizard story. It'll kind of take, I don't really know what direction it's going to take, really. It's going to be based on your guys' input, but just to get us started, I was just going to kind of just introduce how to kind of place a background and a character into Scratch. So I can kind of erase this character right here. And then I'll first choose a background. So that's like kind of choosing a backdrop. And just to get it started, I'm going to start off by choosing a witch house, something random. And then I'm going to add a character. So that's like a character is called a sprite in Scratch, which is just like, I guess their way of calling it. So it's called choose a sprite. And I believe like, if you guys can see here, there are a bunch of characters which you can choose from. There's also a search bar right here. If you want to look for specific characters, or you can just kind of browse through it. So I'm going to be choosing a wizard today. Yes, you can also draw your own backdrop, Caitlin. But yeah, I'm going to be choosing a wizard today. I kind of dragged him to the center right here. So just to start the story off, I am going to have him say something. So to do that, all you have to do is go to events, and to really start off the story, you can go to when this green arrow is clicked. I'm going to have him say a word. So for example, I can have him say hello for 2 seconds. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. He can say hello for 2 seconds, and then we can make him have a name. So based on that, what do you think his name should be? It's all based on you guys. Do you think the wizard should have a name? Is there a name that you guys want him to have? Type in the chat, and we can kind of base it off that way. Okay, based on our moderators and the chat, we'll go with Billy Bob Joe first. That's a great name. I love that. Everyone can have a chance to kind of interact that way. So basically we can be like, he says hello and he says, my name is Billy Bob Joe. For, let's say, we can also vary the time which he can say his name. So that'll be for around, I don't know, 3 seconds, let's say. So just to introduce how that kind of plays out into Scratch right here, I'm going to click this button. You can see it says hello, and then my name is Billy Bob Joe. So next, to kind of start getting the story going, I'm going to introduce another character. I'll start it off just from here. Let's have an elf, let's say. So I'm gonna make him turn. 1 second. One second. Okay, so as you can see, I made him face the wizard now. This elf can be a he or she. It's really not obvious, so let's now, since the elf has introduced himself, or the wizard has introduced himself, we can now start a new dialogue with the elf. So I'm gonna make him kind of have a conversation with the wizard. So for that to kind of happen, you see that I introduced the wizard for 5 seconds. So I'm gonna let the elf character wait for 5 seconds before speaking, so that there's no overlap in between characters. So we can go that and then go control. So I'm gonna say wait 5 seconds, and then I'm gonna make him say something, for example. So he can say hello, and let's give the elf a name. Do you guys have a name? You guys can type in the chat and see what's going up from there. Panelists, what do you guys think? Okay, I guess we're going with Opie. Nice, interesting names you guys are all coming up with. So let's have this elf say hello, and then we can introduce himself again. Say, hello, my name is Opie. I don't know what that means, Opie, but interesting name. So let's see how that kind of plays out. So we have that for 3 seconds. So let's see. Sits here, says hello, my name is Web Joe. And hello, my name is Opie. So as you can see, we were able to have that kind of conversation between the two. So it's kind of really figuring out the timing between the two characters and really just putting that together to kind of create that whole conversation. So now we can start to kind of continue the dialogue that way. And once the characters introduce themselves, I've kind of created a quest for the elf to go through. So once we can go from there, we can say once clicked, wait for, let's say wait for 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna say, I have a quest for you for 3 seconds. And we can kind of create some mysterious vibes here, kind of say, we don't really know what the quest will be. So the elf can really take it on and go through it. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, so as you can see, we're kind of creating that conversation. And now we can have the elf respond that way. And then, so shall we have the elf go on a quest? Yes or no? Should he take on this quest? We don't know what the quest is. Okay, great. I see a resounding yes from everyone. So we can kind of create our own quest that way. We'll have the elf be very reluctant to take it on because obviously he doesn't know what the wizard is going to do. We don't know what's happening. We'll start by saying, what quest? I am lazy and don't feel like running around everywhere. So I said that for, so I'm just like, I put that for the elf, and then now the wizard is going to try to convince the elf to do so. Okay, so I'm going to present the elf, who's the main character in this quest, to go on 2 different quests, basically. So, for example, let's have the elf is now going to say, I have 2 goals for you to go through. One is going to be fighting a dragon, and the other one is going to be going through the, oh, it's a bit laggy, I'm sorry, going through the forest to save a princess. And he can say that for 7 seconds. Okay, so let's see how this conversation plays out. So see here, I kind of create it that way. Oh, kind of cliche. I'm just trying to introduce you guys to the story here. Okay, so if you guys think that saving a princess is cliche, I would like to see, what do you guys want to see the elf do? Well, how creative can we get to kind of make our own quest to kind of be creative that way? Let's see, type in the chat and see what quest we want the elf to go through. It's all going to be based on you guys. One, we can have finding a dragon, and then if we don't want to save a princess, ooh, taming a lion, capturing a monkey. Minecraft Steve. Okay, so I think the first response that I saw, and based on the moderators, is to kind of taming a lion. So let's see if, so fighting a dragon and taming a lion, both, that sounds like a very like Hercules kind of task. So let's go fighting a dragon and then taming a lion. Okay, so now that we have established this scene in the story where the wizard and the elf have had this interaction, we can kind of go on to which like quest or which goal the elf should go through. So based on your guys' input, should the elf fight the dragon first or tame the lion first? Ooh, I'm seeing mixed responses. What do you guys think, panelists?
Seeing a lot of lions there.
Okay. Guess we're going with taming the lion first. Let's see. So now we are going to, we're going to go to a new scene with a new backdrop, basically, which is going to have a new like background, which will be like, for example, in the forest where the lion will be, for example. Okay, so to do that, we're gonna go to choose a backdrop, and now go to okay. So the wizard is just kind of, and the elf are just both gonna be there in that backdrop to just be in the background. I guess the elf is gonna kind of tame the lion in that task, and then kind of go from there. So now I believe we can add a lion here. Oh, that's a very fierce looking lion. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. 1 second. Let's make this, let's make this guy disappear. Just kidding. We're gonna have the line here. I'm gonna make him a little bit bigger so he doesn't look so small. So clearly so we can kind of change the size on this lion and change the size on a lot of these characters to kind of create it to the like way you guys want and really make it to the like, just personalize your story the way you want it. Can I add something dark? All right, so here, since we want to tame a lion, the lion is smiling, so it looks kind of nice. So I'm gonna see if we can maybe change how the lion looks, or like, so there's in Scratch themselves, like the way that Scratch kind of works, they have like various modes which you can really like kind of make the characters look. So let's see if we can do that on this lion. It may not work for everyone. Oh, so see if you guys can see here, there's 3 different modes which the lion can look like, the character can look like. So you can kind of go through each one and see if, oh, So basically for this one, at least, it's just walking. So we obviously can't make the lion look a certain way because he looks very happy right now. We're trying to tame a very vicious lion. So I'm just gonna have him be in one position for now. But if you guys want, for a lot of the other characters, they can have various positions which they can be at a certain point of time. So yeah, we'll just have him like kind of walking up like to the elf. I don't know, maybe walking in the distance, kind of like being like vicious that way, like dark and big. Let's see what we can do with that. So from there, we can kind of make him bloodthirsty. So if we want to do that, we can, I don't know if we can make him bloodthirsty, but I believe we can make him move. I think someone said something about moving and see how that kind of works from there. So there's an option to like, there's a motion option, which you can make the characters move a certain direction or move certain ways, move certain amount of steps, maybe even turn if they wanted to. Let's see how we can do that. Click on the lion, kind of see, you won't see the lion actually like moving. It'll just kind of like walking per se, but you just kind of see him move on the screen just a little bit. See how that works out. Oops, sorry. We didn't want to see the beginning of the Billy Bob Joel one. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but once I did press that, this icon right here, he did shift, the lion did shift a little bit, 10 steps to the right. So just saying that's kind of how you guys see motion, really, to kind of see how like the lion can move. If you guys really want to see a big change, I can make him move, I don't know, like 50 steps. So once I click that, if you guys will probably see him move a little bit more. Yeah, so as you can see, he kind of moved that way, but yeah, you can just kind of play around with that and see how that's really going. But yeah, we can start that way, and then we can make the wizard disappear from the scene, just so the lion and the elf can kind of be to their own, and the elf is on his own journey. Let me just see how to do that real quick. Let's make the, oh. Click on the elf and then say, we can basically, you can say again, when this is clicked, we will wait around 24 seconds, and then we can switch to a new backdrop. We have the forest here, and then we originally have the, click this one, and then we can start off by being in the witch house. This lion, we don't want him to move just yet, so when this is clicked, we can let him wait around 24 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry. And then we can have him show after, like once the whole dialogue between the wizard and the elf has kind of gone through, we can kind of show the, like how everything works. So then to do that, we can, I believe we have to, one second, guys. That's not it. See how that starts off. Yeah. So we start off with the wizard being in the witch's house, but then is it 24 seconds because the line has to wait? Yeah. So you have to like basically I waited 24 seconds because I'm kind of timing how like everything is like working out. So that's the kind of time I allotted for each of the dialogue to happen so that the line can eventually show in the pictures basically. So now as you see, like we had that transition into the forest, and I'm trying to see how we can really make that lion show or make the wizard disappear and then have the lion show till the very end. That's a little bit confusing. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Here. So basically to do that, we can do this show hide option. And then I'm going to make the wizard, for example, when this is clicked, I can kind of, again, wait for 24 seconds and then hide the wizard in the next scene so he disappears and then only the line shows. I believe that this should work. So then I can kind of, when this is, we can hide the lion and then we wait 24 seconds. And then once the backdrop switches to the forest, we show him and just the wizard and the elf should be in those scenes. Okay, so I think someone asked how to background switch. The background switch, so there's certain backdrops that you've already set in the Scratch programming. In order to switch between backgrounds, you have to go to switch backdrop. I'm just showing, I'm not really switching right now, but you can switch backdrops between whichever you've chosen. For example, the witch house, which I had originally had, and then the forest. So you kind of like time it that way. So as of right now, I showed you guys how to show and hide, and like, let's see if that really works out here. See here. Lazy, don't feel like running around everywhere. And then I have 2 goals for you. So as we all chose, we chose taming a lion. So yeah, so now we have the lion show after the whole dialogue, after we switch to the forest, and now the elf and the lion are now going to be in combat. Okay, let's see. So after basically this, so now we have the elf and the lion facing off. We can have the lion over here and the elf over here, and we can have him do some dialogue now. So we can do that. And then once again, we wait 24 seconds. And now we can say, the lion is kind of in the background now. So it's up to you guys. Is the elf a brave elf, or is he going to run away from the lion, or is he going to face the lion head on? Type in the chat and we can kind of coordinate the story that way. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of braves. So I guess we're kind of making the elf run towards the lion, whether it be smart or stupid, we can kind of go that way. So we waited that far. So in order to make the elf run in a certain direction, we can, for example, make him move towards the lion 10 steps. So the lion is going to be here. He's going to be in the background. And then the elf is going to move forward 50 steps. Run and jump on the line. So now we've made the elf run and jump on the lion. Let's see if we can change what he looks like. Oh, he looks angry. Let's make him look angry and run towards the lion. I feel like that makes a lot more sense. Have the elf have a weapon. Okay, let's see if we can do that. I don't know. I think we could probably draw in a weapon. What do you guys think? Oh, yeah, we can have the elf draw. We can draw in a weapon for the elf. Okay, it's up to you guys. What weapon should the elf have?
Or could the elf cast a spell?
Oh yeah, we can do that. Should we have a spell? The elf cast a spell, or should we have a weapon for the elf? So I'm seeing a lot of shields and swords. Okay, I guess we're going with both like a shield and a sword. So let's see if I can draw that in really quickly. It might be pretty bad, but bear with me here. I'm not the world's best artist. So let's see. I'm gonna change the color so it's black. Let's see if I can do that really quickly. So I'm gonna have him holding a sword. Ooh, let's see. Sword. Oh no, that's a bad sword. I'm gonna make him actually hold it. Let's see. All right, really quickly, and make him grip a sword in his hand. I'm gonna have him hold a shield in the other hand. Make that shield gray, for example. Maybe even red, a brownie. A magic sword. Ooh, maybe I can create some sparkles or something around the sword to show its magic. I'll create this shield first. Make a circle right here. And he can charge towards the lion that way. Okay, now the elf is a lot more equipped to handle the lion instead of just randomly just charging towards it. So let's see what happens when we, hopefully like the drawings will kind of transfer with the elf. Maybe not, but we'll see what happens. Oh, okay. We have that. And then we can have the lion move. Let's have the lion move forward. Move forward 10 steps or 20 steps to kind of show that they're in battle a little bit. Looks like a lightsaber. Okay, we're gonna start. It's gonna show from the very beginning, so just bear with me here. Oh no, what happened? Sorry guys. I don't know why the wizard isn't showing. Give me 1 second. Why didn't the wizard show? Okay. Starting it over again really quickly. So now obviously from like you guys can see the alpha's kind of a little bit angry and then has a sword and a weapon to kind of defend himself. Oops. The elf moved backward, which wasn't what we really wanted. But I'm trying to see if I can make him move forward really quickly. Glide towards. I think we can make him go towards the lion. Okay, instead of making him move 50 steps, we can kind of make him go towards the lion really quickly. Glide 2 seconds to the lion. Let's see if that works. Can't see the elf in the background anymore for some reason. I think he moved on accident. So as you can see, we kind of made the Elf glide towards the lion, kind of fighting the lion head on. Lion doesn't look very menacing, but we made Opie the elf move towards the lion that way. So yeah, that was kind of like him fighting it head on. But yeah, I think since we kind of decided that way, that's kind of, we have like a couple more minutes. I think I just wanted to wrap up the activity today. It's 11:50. We only have an hour left of the activity. But if we can try to I'm going to try to show the whole story again and see how we've done so far. So I'm going to click the play button again right here. Okay. So we have the story played out. Oh wait, one second. I can actually make this full screen so you guys can all see it full screen. All right, let's go from here. Okay, so that is what we have so far. I don't know. I don't think Opie the elf is supposed to say hello to the lion, but we can say I'll just quickly change the dialogue to say I'm going to kill you now really quickly, or I'm going to not maybe kill, but let's say I'm going to hunt you now. So once we just kind of changed that, we kind of shifted Opie the elf that way. But now Opie the elf has completed one of his goals of taming the lion and kind of moving, and one of his goals of like the wizard has set for him. So that is all the time we have for today on Scratch, at least. I'm just going to finish up with a really quick closing activity. Again, that's kind of like the really basics of Scratch. And as you can see, we kind of created this little like short storyline of Opie the elf and Billy Bob Joe the wizard, and how they interacted and kind of how Opie the elf tamed the lion that way. So that's kind of like one like little short project that I created to kind of show you guys. But I'm going to go back to the presentation really quickly, and then we can kind of go from there. So, sorry, give me one second. Okay, so I think as we kind of wrap up our activity today, and I showed you guys how to kind of use Scratch to kind of create that storyline, do you guys have any questions or any related comments about Scratch and or the activity today? You guys can kind of type in the chat and we can kind of answer it to the best of our ability. Ooh, there's a bunch of questions. Okay. So the dragon, we didn't have time to get to the dragon. We just had time to get to the lion. That's the first part of his quest, as you guys decided. But really, you can make, I think this is according to Emily's question, you can really make the story as long as you want. It's how you kind of configure it and really make the story your own. I think you can make it really as long as you want to and really create a full-fledged story with the whole storyline, the wizard and Opie the elf kind of fighting through everything and really going from there. But yeah, thank you, Dia, for coming in and tuning in. I believe, according to Miss Linda Cummings, I believe that your son would need an account to kind of save and share his programs that way. Just to really, I think, just kind of have that account. The account is free, really super easy setup. All you have to do is, again, create the username and password to save those programs and have like that kind of account in Scratch. But yeah, sorry, Stefan, no dragon today. Again, you can actually go onto Scratch and continue the story if you wanted to, kind of leading to the last portion of our activity today. We have one last project for you guys. So this is an optional activity that we have kind of that I've kind of created for you guys. I've worked with Maddie, my co-director of outreach. So this is an optional activity which you guys can really make it your own. So like you guys have the option of creating your own like 10 to 15 second short story on Scratch. You guys can either continue what I've done so far with Opie and Billy Bob Joe. Maybe you guys want to continue his second quest with the dragon, because there is a dragon option in Scratch. So if you guys want to continue that, you guys can have him fight a dragon since he's already tamed the lion. Or you can create a completely new story of your own. There's a lot of like different characters which you can kind of work with to really, again, create your own story to what you really want it to be. For example, you can maybe do something related to basketball, some kind of space story, astronaut story, something really crazy, really whatever you want to do, some superhero story, something. I think when I was working with Scratch earlier, I created like a superhero story with really crazy characters and really weird stuff going on, but it was just like a fun story which I was really tinkering with to kind of do. But you can, again, it can be anything you like, as crazy as you want it. And I really just want to see, like, we really want to see you using your creative skills and what you kind of seen today as an introduction to explore Scratch by yourself or with your parents, so they can really like guide you to like create that story. But yeah, so the deadline to kind of work on the short story or the project will be the end of e-week, which is like around next Friday. So if you guys would like to email your short story to us, I believe there is a share option on Scratch itself. If you want to share your story that way, it'll be in like some kind of for emailing format, which will be easy for us to open. And since I think all of us do have accounts, we can kind of open it that way and go from there. But we can repost it onto our Instagram it's like at CWRU_SWE. And you guys can just like have fun with it, do whatever you want with it, and things like that. But does anybody have any questions? Panelists, do you guys have any closing remarks for that, for like our audience otherwise? Nothing? All right, so I really like your idea, Stefan, interdimensional time travel and everything else. Yeah, go for it. I feel like you guys can do whatever you want to do with it. Are we going to be able to do this anytime we want to? Yeah, you guys can do this anytime. It's just going to be, we're thinking of having it due by the end of e-week. If you guys, it's optional. You guys really don't have to do it. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for coming today, kind of exploring Scratch with me, being interactive and really being really attentive in the chat. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this activity. It was really fun for me to kind of explore Scratch because I've been like using it intermittently, and it's like a learning process for me as well. So thank you guys for coming today. Oh, you had a great drawer. Even took classes. And if you guys, have any other questions or comments, you guys can just kind of put in the chat. I think we'll be waiting online for just a couple more minutes, but if you guys don't have any questions, you guys are free to go. Thank you for coming today. I really enjoyed our time. Bye, guys.